We have a friend today here. She's hoping to go out. She saw me moving around and she's like, where are we going? We're not going anywhere. Anyway, she can stay here. Now, yesterday I put up the video and I was like, oh, 11 out of 111. So it was 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Very magical. Yumi, we're not going out. What do you want to say? You want to say hi? So, can't believe I've done already 11 videos. I've been just thinking that I should really start having more of a clearer message or figure out what I actually want to say before I go. So I'm oscillating between having something ready, talking about something specific, some of my previous experiences. I've been just rambling and, warm up here and telling people why I'm here and what I'm doing and talking about a little bit human design then and a little bit just had very few overwhelming busy days, so I thought I'd share that. Can't be complaining about my busy life here but for like 100 days straight, so I was like, what would I talk about? I have for example, I thought by now definitely will be already talking about my India trip because it was so interesting and there's a lot I want to share. And I would get some of my friends to look at this YouTube as well, because many friends of mine are like, come on, tell me more about this India. But usually what I would do, I would record a WhatsApp message, a longer one, just telling about whatever I want to say about my trip, for example, or whatever other experience, and then I would just send it to a few friends. And I was like, I can just do this on YouTube. I think I mentioned it once before already in this channel. But somehow many days I've been busy, I haven't taken the time, so I just check in. Many days there's just something current, lots of things happening. So I've been just talking about that. But maybe now, today I have nothing much to, no drama in my life today. So I was like, what will I talk about? So, as it is an energy transmission thing, but I'm not here doing light language or giving you motivational messages or channeling Arcturians or teaching any specific topics that I could, or talking about, I'm not here so far yet talking about my I don't know, ayahuasca experiences or whatever I've had, but I feel like I want to focus on something. On the other hand, I've had many moments when I'm completely ready to just stop this. I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? Nobody's even listening. I'm not even saying anything. What energy, blah, blah, blah. What energy transmission? What frequency speak? What frequency family? Where is it? I'm like, then the other part of me, okay, you said you'll do it 111 days. Just do it. Just go through the motions and you see in the end. Don't give up on like day 7 or 10 or 11. And I'm like, whew. Another friend commented the other day, really good friend of mine, and she's like, you're doing great, and I listened to some of your videos, and you're talking about a lot of like personal stuff, like very personal. I definitely wouldn't be speaking so personal, and I would be afraid of like somebody using this information against me somehow, and all of her own fears were like obviously reacting there, but that ignited my own fears that I've been like putting aside. I'm like, okay, I'll just record a video, put it up, and don't worry about it. Just move on. Just live this moment that I'm talking and just share it. And whoever will see it, and the right people will see it. But maybe then I was like, oh, maybe if the wrong people will see it. But I'm like, who cares? Who cares about my personal life or whatever? In both ways, like in a good way and in a bad way. Who cares about listening to my life and then coming after me with something that I've shared, some personal stuff? I don't know. And then, anyway, so these waves of doubt are coming through, and the waves of like, I should be really talking about something better than blah 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 my life, or but then I don't know, here I am. You never know who's gonna listen. Even if I do 111 days of these videos, and even if one person somehow finds something along the way that I haven't even said yet, and it's leads to something for them or something for me, maybe it's worth it. It's not like I'm planning to become a YouTuber after this. Maybe in 100 days I figured it all out, bought the equipment, dressed up the office with a nice background. Don't know. But here I am now with a Christmas tree and a doggy who's lying down, and the fire even. The rest of the house is upside down. Couldn't really, my plan was to film this in the office, but we have had builders in the house, in every house, every day, coming back tomorrow. Literally 23rd, they're coming back, and I think they're coming back straight after Christmas. And well, here I am. Here I am, and I'm thinking that I still have to learn this energy thing. And I just realized now, this moment of little quiet, because I didn't know what to say, because I was like blah 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 this and blah 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 that, and I was kind of like in excited kind of energy. And now when suddenly I ran out of all this rambling material and this moment of quiet came in, I was like, let's take a breath. It's okay. Maybe it's an awkward moment of silence, but that really allowed me to kind of settle in a little bit deeper into myself. Maybe that's what I should do. Every time before I come in, I'll settle my own energy. Yes, definitely I should do that. And then I can maybe connect clearer what I'm here to say. Comes to mind now that I mentioned yesterday, this 3-day event with Courtney channeling Zero, that I listened yesterday, and I fell asleep right away. So I did the video. I started Courtney's live straight after. For the first half an hour, it was just Courtney talking, reading messages, people saying hello and where they're from. And as soon as Zero came in, I was gone into the dreamland. And I don't even have dreams to speak about. Well, I had some dreams, but nothing amazing or nothing profound. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night with all these dreams in my head, which I did on after the first day on Friday. Yeah, well, I have a few minutes. to put the kids to sleep soon. But I'm gonna rewind a little bit back in my life, and gonna say about Friday. Friday was 19th of December, and it was the first day of this 3-day event by Courtney, and it was a new moon, apparently a powerful one, and it was the 3-eye atlas, closest flyby to Earth. So the whole kind of window, the opening of this little window or big window or portal of, it has many names, but this time, especially the 3 days of the new moon, 3-eye atlas, then the solstice on Sunday. And I had very intense week, but especially Wednesday was intense, Thursday even more, and then Friday with the birthday party and with a tooth being broken just the day after it was fixed. Well, it was a temporary fix, so it was a temporary filling, so not a surprise that it broke. But so all of this very intense energies then finally culminated with, like, I had a little calm. I put the kids to sleep. I was lying down, and then I got back up to listen to Courtney. It was about 2-hour transmission, and I went quite deep quite quickly, and it was a deep experience in my mind. I could just feel dropping deeper. She'll get you to do some, focusing on breathing and slowing down and going deeper. And then I didn't have a big experience during this session, but at the end I must have dropped off and in the end, so I went from this kind of deep meditative state, channeling, being open, straight into a very deep dream state. And I woke up around 3 o'clock just remembering everything. And then I spent about 2 hours up with ChatGPT, bouncing my ideas of what it was all about. But the craziest dream, and it was so real, you cannot imagine how real it was. The people who have real dreams will understand. My husband doesn't understand. He doesn't have these real dreams. He's like, what are you talking about? But basically, in my dream, the biggest theme was I lost my teeth. And I've had those teeth losing experiences before, but this one, I lost my teeth. And I remember even, first I was just pushing my tooth, and it was wobbly, kind of like I remember the feeling when I was losing milk teeth, and it was wobbly. And I pushed it, and it just popped off, and it didn't pop off like as an adult tooth is pulled out with a root. It just popped off like a milk tooth. But I knew in my dream I was an adult, and there was adult teeth, and there was, once they're gone. But with the way they're hollow inside, the tooth was hollow like this rather than having a root. And I popped one off, and I was like, the feeling of like losing a tooth is horrible. And then, because in real life I've lost some, well, it's only the wisdom teeth are gone, but the others have gone close as well, and just the worry about, is this tooth can be saved? Will the root still survive? Is it still alive? All of this. Because knowing what I know, and the rabbit holes I've gone down to, I don't think a root canal would be an option for me. I'd say I'd rather go for extraction. So if the tooth is dead, it's dead, it's gone. So I've had in real life some very close calls as well. And now actively actually going through this. And last year I had a tooth problem as well, which I tell you after maybe they'll kind of weave this in somewhere, but at the moment I don't want to get lost from my dream. So one tooth fell off, and then I pushed another one, and then more and more and more, and suddenly I looked down and I had a handful of teeth. So many, like actually more than somebody would have in their mouth. A handful of teeth. And it was so real. And I remember in my dream I had this feeling of this remembrance of like, oh, I've seen this dream before. I've seen a dream before where I'm losing my teeth. Sorry, notification. Hopefully, I don't think you saw that one. Sorry. So I just, in my dream, I remember that I've seen these kind of dreams before, but this is not a dream. This is actually happening. I wish this was a dream. It's actually happening for real. And then the dream went on. Other things happened. There was many other themes that I remember clearly. I'm not going to get into all of it. Just wanted to talk about this teeth topic. And somehow I just moved on. Other things happened. And then I started to lose my teeth again. I didn't even have that moment that, like, I have my teeth back. I wasn't like, oh yes, I have the teeth back. I just remembered a new layer of losing teeth. As if like, okay, that one was a dream, but now I'm awake and now this is real. So I there's like a dream inside of a dream when I was losing my teeth again. I think I'm losing the detail now, but I must have at least 2, if not 3 times, 3 cycles I lost my teeth. And one time it was very, very clearly, I looked in the mirror and I could see all one side, many teeth missing, and many were like little stumps. And I'm not sure is it stump as, you know, an old tooth was just broken down to just being a stump, or it was kind of like a half tooth erupting, a new one, but I didn't have this excitement of like, oh, there's some new teeth coming in. I didn't have that kind of relief or anything. So that was very, very real. I don't even know who hasn't had that vivid kind of a dream. Many people have. It's not so so unusual. But when I looked it up, then apparently it's about shedding, right? And again, we are at the end of year 9 and at the end of year of the snake, and I've been doing a lot of shedding this year. I wish I did more material shedding, because I had so many plans to just like push things out of my house, so many things I need to get rid of and get out of my house, but I just haven't gotten around. I'm just seems to just moving things around rather than actually making things exit my house. Some things have, but I need to do a big clear out. That's what I'm going to do for the 2 weeks of holidays. Don't even have any plans, even though poor children, we should do something for them this year. Like, we haven't gone for any Christmas events or anything other than the school stuff that they have, but well, they haven't been asking for neither. But anyway, I'm sure we'll do something for the kids, but mostly I'm gonna tackle the house. But yeah, shedding the teeth, and some things that I didn't even realize or notice of being important without ChatGPT pointing it out. One was like, for me it was so normal that the teeth, because in my dreams they always just fall out like this. But the AI was saying like, oh, but you know, it's important to notice that they weren't pulled out, that I pushed them out. Nobody else was. I wasn't like in a dentist office. And also they were like milk teeth. They weren't like pulled out with the root. So it's more of a shedding dream rather than like violence or, you know, um, or more permanent loss of something. So yeah, it's very interesting, and it's not only I didn't think so, and well, ChatGPT also didn't think so, but I also don't have from the beginning, I didn't have the feeling that it's just the anxiety of my real life situation of teeth reflecting in my dreams. I think it's more of a convergence of the two. My body is going through something, and then my dreamland is reflecting the same. I totally believe, and I have believed, I don't know, all my life, I suppose. I don't even know since when. Whenever I first time heard this idea that all disease are energetic first, they are like emotional or even deeper than just the recent emotions, but that's always the underlying. There's always something emotional underneath it, and sometimes it's not your own. Could be, you know, emotions that are passed to your parents, you've picked up, or maybe your parents have suppressed and you pick them up. But yeah, energetic first. So I've been digging into this teeth topic already previously, like for example last year I had this very interesting experience now that I want to bring in here as well. So I had a crown, a couple of years old. I still have it. And I think it was like springtime last year, maybe May or something. It just popped off. Oh, and actually, let me take a step back. I had a little fall on the scooter. Actually, it was traumatic at the time, but little in a way that nothing was really, I didn't break anything, but it was like a completely, the wheel got stuck into a little crack, a little stone, I think, and I completely face painted onto the concrete. And a big shock, and my face as well, so the shock wave went through my skull, and I had actually pain on the opposite side. And then I started to like a week later, I felt my whole body super weak. And this just general weakness, physical weakness. I felt like all my muscles are weak. It's hard to do anything. So I went for, I usually would go, I have an osteopath I go to. But she always, it always takes about a week before I can see her, at least, if not more. And then I just went for chiropractor that my husband loves, and he's actually close by, and he tends to have, because he's more of a clinic with few people working, so he has kind of emergency times available quite regularly. Every week they have sometimes, and then I was just able to get there very quickly. So that's why I just went to the chiropractor that I hadn't seen before, but I heard great things about. Even my husband's father already went there and loved him. So he discovered, he was like, yeah, oh my God, like anything he tried on me, he's like, all my body muscles are weak. But then he's an interesting guy as well, and he's quite holistic, apparently. So I don't know, how did we get to it? That I pressed my finger on one of my teeth, and when the tooth was pressed, my body was strong, and if I didn't press the tooth, my body was weak. So he's like, there's definitely something going on with the tooth. Do you have any amalgams? I'm like, no, they're all taken out. He was like, well, maybe there's some remnants of like some bits still left. I'm like, I don't think so. I went to a very, very good place. I traveled for it to go to England specifically for a specific doctor. So I was like, I don't think so. Like it was very well carefully chosen doctor. Definitely he didn't leave something behind. But then I put it aside. I didn't connect it to anything. But then I remembered later, I remembered that one time I was flossing my teeth, and as I was pulling the floss out, the crown came up a little bit, and that was actually that tooth. The crown came up a little bit, and I was like, oh no, what's this? I pushed it down, and then I was like, I better not do floss and pull up like this. But obviously, and it stayed, and it didn't move, nothing happened to it. It didn't come up regularly or anything, but it had come up, and I had pushed it down, so it wasn't fully connected. And I just didn't do that type of motion again, and it was fine, and I had completely forgotten about it, actually. And then a few weeks later, I just lost the crown. I was eating, and it came fully off. And then I went to dentist. I got a new crown. That was not a bother. But then a few months later in autumn, that crown came off again. I was like, very interesting. Why is it coming off? Like, is it common that crowns come off like this? And called my dentist again. It's all done under warranty. I didn't have to pay. So it's not like it's like a cash cow for the dentist to make them come off so he can get money. So it's all done for free, just under warranty. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. Why is it coming off again? And he was like, I was asking, like, how often does it happen in your practice that the crowns come off? And even the original crown wasn't that old. It was maybe only 2 years or something. So 2 times already. Okay, it was fixed. And this time it came off and even broke in half. So that was fixed. And then last year before Christmas, only like a month or 2 after I got the second crown, this crown came off again. And just before Christmas I got in. And that was so weird. And he was like, what's wrong with this? How is this happening? And anyway, so he was taking a picture to gonna make that crown. I suppose they 3D printed, or I'm not sure what, like, you know, the computer generates the exact shape and then they make it there and then, the crown. But then he called me and he's like, there's something wrong with this machine. It's not generating you a good crown. It makes it too small for some reason. So let's take the pictures again. So he takes the pictures again, like the photographs of the mouth for the, like, to the computer to have information to generate the crown. And I'm waiting, and he comes and he's like, it's still not doing it. It's just not creating a good, like, I can see visually that it's not a good crown. He's like restarted the computer and, you know, checked everything that he knows what to check or do. He's like, I never had this this issue before. I've been doing this. He's very experienced and sought after dentist as well. He's also a kind of holistic biological dentist who understands homeopathy and whole body, and even that I learned that time that he has even studied family constellation, because by that time I was like, at the risk of sounding too woo-woo, even to a biological dentist, I told him, like, you know, I was thinking, this crown, why is this crown not staying on there? You know, I believe it's just beyond of something, or just a broken crown, because now 3 times it's falling off. And in the summertime, actually, I was or maybe it was, at some point before this time, I've been talking to a girl who is, I don't know, even psychic, and, you know, can feel things and can guide and can guide people and help to see their patterns and stuff. And she was like, a king, my last name is King, a king who can't keep the crown on. What is happening there? So I went down that route a bit. I was like, yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point. And then I don't know the answer yet. I'm sure there's something. I kind of left it then. And then I was also thinking about, family. Where is it coming from? Because it's so weird. I started to have cavities already when I was a child, a small child. Me and my sister, same parents, same school. We had only 1 year difference in ages. Same food in school, same food at home. And she, beautiful white pearls, no cavities. Every time she comes in, she comes out of dentist office whistling, oh yeah, everything is hunky-dory. Me, already I remember in school, dentist office, by the time I was in my early 20s, I had pretty much fillings everywhere, wisdom teeth pulled out just not because of impaction or anything, but because they were just so falling apart. Cavities and more cavities, and so there's definitely something energetic going on. And then now that I'm talking about it, I definitely have to go and make myself an appointment very quickly after Christmas to see constellation therapy, like constellation whatever event, go to a constellation event, whatever they called, because something energetic definitely going on with these teeth. And the way the real life, like obviously I didn't get the message last year, so I got the crown in finally. I had to go back after Christmas in the beginning of January, and then I finally got the crown in, no bother. But then this summer the other tooth started to fall apart, and now this January very likely I'm gonna need another crown. But so I don't have too much time. I need to kind of pull my act together and figure out this message, whatever this message my body wants to tell me. And I've read so much about teeth, and I've thought about it very deeply, like from a physical and physiological perspective. The food, supplements like boron and I've listened to people channeling messages about it, and different like emotion, like the connections, what kind of emotions are connected to what kind of teeth. There's so much information out about it, but I just haven't figured out what is the message from my teeth to me. So they keep having to give me this message in dreams, in dreamland, and in real physical life as well. So yeah, I don't know where to go from here, how to figure out. I know, well, yes, I feel like I need to do I have to bring it to a constellation field and see what's going on. And another interesting point as well, both of my children, my husband as well, has perfect teeth, no worries, no cavities. Both of my children have inherited my teeth that are already falling apart very young. And this, I find it's kind of like connected. That's why I'm thinking family constellation as well, because of the children. And it was interesting as well, this Thursday when I went to the dentist, I had my son with me who got his first fillings. This doctor doesn't believe in drilling in baby teeth, so he was just putting in some temporary fillings just to, stop food and stuff getting stuck in there and causing pain. But it was something that we did together, me and my son together in the car, going to the dentist office. Then he's getting his fillings, then I'm getting mine, driving together. So I definitely feel there's ancestry line thing going on And if I don't figure this out for myself and stop it somehow, then obviously I can see it already continues in the next generation. I can tackle it on a physical, which I've tried so many times as well, but it's very hard to keep children on a strict diet. And for the teeth especially, like if, and I know it would work, but at the same time, strict diet, like, I mean, I know what diet would work physically, but then you get if you do this to young children, then you get them all kind of behavioral, food-related behavioral issues. So definitely don't want to, play around with that and risk them having some, unhealthy relationship with food. Because many families who are doing this ultra healthy food for themselves and the children grow up in it, many children take it upon themselves as normal. This is normal way to eat, the way we eat at home. But then there is actually quite a large percentage of those children growing up with unhealthy food habits, and whenever they get into teenage years and they have their own money, then they go completely overboard with all the junk they never had in their life. So that's the other side. And then what's the point of fighting it physically anyway when everything is energetic? So I have a lot to figure out. So these are my thoughts. These are my wonderings about teeth. I haven't gone into details of yes, I could go way more into detail now, but it's 37 minutes. So I'm gonna stop it here. I'm sure you'll hear my journey once when I make it to the constellation therapy. Somehow last year when I around this time last year, I was so determined I'm gonna get this girl, this psychic girl that I love in Estonia. I've had 2 sessions with her over the last few years. She's very, very, very clear, and I always feel like it's very clear guidance. It's not just like sometimes you might be talking to somebody and they give you messages and they're just like all a big nothing burger or a word salad. And in the end you're like, what's the meat in here? What's the tangible thing that I actually learned? What's the usual thing that I learned? But with this girl, I always get something very clear. But it's not cheap. She's not cheap. So last year, actually I tried to contact her as well. To just specifically, I wanted to figure out this teeth. Where is it coming from? But then I don't think she answered my text, and then I didn't have money. And then when I finally saw her, I had other more burning questions. So I definitely need to book with her. And she actually does constellation therapy as well. Maybe I'll do constellation, but she's in Estonia. Anyway, I'll figure this out. I'm here for another 100 days at least, so we'll see. Do I find the answer before my 111 days of YouTube is finished? I hope so. Good night.